Hi, do you find yourself in a position where in your relationships there's just something missing? Maybe there's a lot of things that are working in the relationships. And maybe you're exploring yourself through various partners. Maybe you're in a committed relationship as it is. And yet maybe you're experiencing serial monogamy as well. And yet in your relationships, you haven't quite felt met. There's something missing in most of your relationships. And those ones that seem to have everything just don't seem to work out. It's a position that most of us, many of us, find ourselves in. I myself have been on a very steep and often painful learning curve around my intimate relationships for the best part of 40 years. I've learned a lot in that time. I've been very fortunate in being able to be exposed to some wonderful teachers and my teachers haven't always been my professional teachers. My teachers have been my partners and my lovers who have taught me a lot about myself. And they've taught me a lot about myself because I was open to learning about myself through my relationships with others. This is one of the keys to having extraordinary relationships, is the willingness and the courage to learn from those that we are in partnership with. I think many of us have heard the term, our relationships are mirrors of ourselves. Our partners are a mirror for ourselves. And we often don't understand what that's really about. But what that means, I'll give a personal example rather than go on with a theoretical answer. I'm in a relationship and we've been in partnership for about 14 years. Now, every time that I find myself being angry, dissatisfied, frustrated, annoyed with my partner, I have the ability I feel the normal feelings that we all do. And yet I can observe myself and watch what's going on inside of me. And then I can drop the questions inside of me as to, okay, now I'm seeing this in her. What does this reflect in me? So if I'm frustrated because she behaves in a certain way, I watch myself being frustrated, and then I turn the question around to myself. What am I frustrated about in myself around this particular issue? Or how am I behaving in the same way that I don't want to look at the moment? Learning about ourselves through our partners is the great gift of relationship. If you're willing to have the courage and the love to embark upon a journey of self-reflection. And sometimes it's not pretty. It's not easy. It is not pleasant to take what I'm projecting onto my partner, bring it home to myself and ask myself, how does this relate to me and how I'm operating right now? Because being human, I would much rather just point the finger and it's all her fault. She's the problem. When in actual fact, the biggest problem in my life is looking back at me from the mirror. The greatest challenge that I have in my life is looking back at me each time I look in the mirror. Same with my partner. Her biggest problem in her life is the person looking back at her in the mirror. Many of us, dare I say, too many of us, enter relationships and enter partnerships and we neglect the opportunity to see what's reflected in front of us because it's so much easier to blame the other person rather than see them as a reflection of ourselves. It takes courage and it takes love. And here at Extraordinary Relationships, we're creating a framework to help and support and guide those who want to in the process of self-reflection and self-learning that is the great gift to come out of our relating.